Hi, I'm Annie Lichny, and I want to thank you so much for joining in for some meditation practice today. We're going to jump right into practice today. So if you could find a comfortable space and place to sit and not be disturbed for about 20 minutes. Take a comfortable seat. And as you sit and get comfortable, start to feel the body. Let all of the worries, all of the things churning in our thinking mind, we can just let them go elsewhere for a little bit of time here. Feeling the body. Bringing our focus to the front body here, just really making space in the front body for breathing for this next 20 minutes. Feeling the lower part of the rib cage, that it's not tucked under, but it's fully exposed and available and open. Recognizing our back body, the spine is dignified and upright. Having our hands, just place them comfortably on your lap. So at the same time, your hands and all 10 pads of your fingers are resting on somewhere on your legs, around your knees or thighs. That you also feel at the same time your shoulders are dropping and relaxing. And we're going to close our eyes down. So we'll start and you'll just listen to my voice. Stay present. Allow the mind, these two pieces of the mind, this thinking mind that is constantly, this inner voice is constantly in dialogue on the inside of us. It's constantly talking. We're going to just let that go to the background a little bit. And we're going to explore our focus, our mind's capability to focus, to bring ourselves, our bodies, into the here and now, and bring our focus into the here and now. Being right here. And not so engaged with that thinking mind, that inner voice, but engaged with being present and here. And starting to bring our attention to the breath. The breath is always a way to bring us into presence. If you ever feel a sense of overwhelm during your day, you can always just come back to yourself by finding the breath in presence, just like we are right now. So to start off this practice, the practice and the intention for today that we're going to explore a little bit is control. How we try so hard to control things in our lives, around us, externally, internally. And so right now we'll start this practice and we'll take about 4 breaths together. The inhale is going to be through the nose, and the exhale is going to be out the mouth, just gently letting the exhale happen on its own. So the lungs are expelling the air out of the mouth, and it's just gently happening. You don't have to do anything. You're just letting it happen. It's peaceful and it's a calm exhale. So let's try about 4 together. It's going to be an inhale, and we're going to fill the lower belly on the inhale. So inhale, expanding the belly. Exhaling through the mouth. Just, we could say to ourselves, it's just a letting go. It's a soft release of air. There's no pressure. Let's try another. Inhale through the nose, filling the belly. Exhale, and we could say to ourselves, just release or let go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let go. It's just a letting go. It's happening on its own. Inhale, one more together. And just play with this idea of just letting the breath exhale all on its own. And this idea of control is what we're working with. Most of our body, we really can't control. The cells we don't really have control over. They are intelligent all on their own. They know what job they have to do and they do it. Our organs, we don't control. Our heart beating, our muscles, our bones, our digesting, our brains, nervous system, all of these components, there's an intelligence that exists that everything functions on its own. It knows exactly what to do. We don't really control it. We can influence it with our decisions and our choices during the day, but we don't really control these functions. Our thinking mind would like us to believe that we are in control. Our ruminating thoughts, our planning, processing, assessing thoughts, they're all a way to control. Our thinking mind is always looking for safety and survival, so it is always looking to be in control. And so many times during the day, through our activities, we are rigidly trying to control things in everything we're doing. We try to control things in the past through our thinking mind, looping on the same thought over and over again. It's something that happened that we keep playing in our mind or discussing in our inner voice. This is a type of control. Something in the future where we play in our heads exactly the way we expect it to go. It's a form of control. And it's something that's on autopilot. This thinking mind is always trying to seek out safety. What is safe? But we shouldn't confuse control and safety, because most of the time we are safe. And our thinking mind sometimes loops and loops. And it really ends up causing chronic stress when this happens in our bodies and becomes a form of overwhelm instead of really what it's looking for, which is control and safety. So we can start to explore the breath in this practice today to see for ourselves, what is it that I am trying to control through my thinking mind and feeling perhaps rigid and tense about, and what can I see and know more about, authentically knowing more through meditation practice and breathing, knowing more about areas that I'm trying to control that maybe I can start to let go of. Just and ride it out on the breath, on the exhale. So let's take a look at our body right now and explore this. Bring our focus, our mind's ability to focus, and bring it into our feet and our ankles and our lower legs. And just start to come into the here and now and recognize this idea of control for ourselves. What am I trying to control? And just keep that in our present focus as we explore today through practice. So feeling what's in our lower bodies, our feet, our legs, up to our thighs, feeling what's here now, coming back into the present moment, experiencing what's here now in our body. Feeling a sense of aliveness, tingling. Also perhaps discomfort and tension, maybe a restlessness going on. We're just noticing, being curious about how we are right now. Feeling through our pelvis, feeling the contact with the seat underneath us. And noticing if our thinking mind and this inner voice is trying to carry us into the past or the future. And we'll just start redirecting into the body anytime we notice that. There's no problem with getting distracted. It's a time when we can bring ourselves back. That's a good noticing, when we can bring ourselves back and bring ourselves into the body, feeling right now this pelvis area, our backside, exploring our own bodies, strengthening our mind's ability to focus right here, right now, knowing we are safe, we are okay. Coming up through the spine and the lower belly and the torso, through the rib cage, just feeling this whole torso region. Noticing if there's anything that becomes obvious, any sensations, very specific locations of sensation or a general sense, a texture of aliveness, openness, any pockets of tension, sometimes across the rib cage or some pockets in the back. We could notice this. Exploring through the upper chest, through the shoulder blades, through the shoulders, down the arms into the hands. When we bring our focus into our own bodies like this, it sends signals to our nervous system that everything is okay. We are calm. There is no safety issue. It quiets from deeply within. Coming up through the throat, through the head, maybe the back of the head, up to the top of the head, around the forehead, eyes. We can become familiar with where we hold on to tension and tightness, and sometimes through the face we can really recognize these places where we hold on to tension and tightness. So much of the time this is this idea of control, this inner voice that's looping in certain thoughts, trying to control things in the future that clearly we can't control the future, or the past, looping over and over about something that happened. And actually it's causing more stress when we do this versus just letting the past go. Just being calm and here in the present, feeling in the body, recognizing the present moment and the aliveness that's deeply within us. And now we can take our attention and bring it directly on the breath again. And the breath is a place where we can start to lean into this idea of letting go, not holding on so tightly. This idea of control, feeling through the breath that we can release this idea of control, because there's so much we really can't control anyway. So we'll breathe in and out, and on the in-breath it'll be about a count of 3 or 4 depending on your needs. And the breath is going to originate from the lower belly, just like we practiced at the beginning. So the in-breath, you'll extend the lower belly on the in-breath, riding the breath up. It's going to feel perhaps this pattern or this rhythm we're creating here is like a circle. So we'll feel we're going up on the inhale, moving up, filling up, and then the exhale will be kind of this riding down. It's a releasing. To me, it feels like riding a Ferris wheel a little bit. So we're not pausing anywhere. We're just continuing this loop, this circle of breath, moving up about a count of 3. So you can give this a try. The inhale and the exhale is through the nose. Everything is through the nose here. Inhaling for about a count of 3. And then it's a letting go without any force about a count of 3. Use the count that works best for you right now. So this isn't a forced breath in and out. It's as much as possible a smoothing inhale and exhale. So play with this idea of this Ferris wheel kind of a breath, if that visual works for you. Counting, if that works for you. Inhaling for a count of 3. Exhaling for a count of 3. And the exhale isn't forced. It's more of a release and a let go. So as we inhale, we start to play with this breath, and then really focus on the exhale just being a gentle release. Release, release, release on the exhale. I'm going to leave some silence here for you to continue this breath and play with the count, with smoothing out. Notice if your thinking mind is trying to pull you away from right here and right now. Just notice and very gently come back to somewhere on the circle of the breath for yourself. So now try extending the length by 1 or 2 seconds, both on the inhale and on the exhale, all through the nose, smoothing it out. And the first part of the exhale will be a natural release. We're not pushing out. You may need to add just a slight exertion at the bottom just to really rinse out the rest of the breath on the exhale. So try this. This is a very calming exhale experience for the body when we can lengthen the inhale and the exhale, but also just let the exhale happen as naturally as possible on the first part of that exhale. So maybe try about a count of 5. Use the best rhythm for you. So we'll inhaling for about 5, and then exhaling, easily letting go. And then at the end, you may need to press out a little bit to rinse out the rest of the breath. Squeeze out on the bottom of the exhale. So we're elongating this circle of breath, inhaling and then now exhaling. It's just gently releasing on its own, and we're just rinsing out the bottom of the lungs to extend that exhale. Continue with this, and again, notice where the breath is taking you on this circle, and feeling this sensation in the body, and then also if this inner voice is trying to carry us and take us into the thinking mind processing as a way to find some sense of control. Continue doing 2 more inhales and exhales in this circular pattern. Inhaling for about a count of 5, feeling the body, noticing the thinking mind. Wherever you are, we'll just take one more breath. And then exhaling, rinsing out, squeezing out. But it's not with a lot of exertion, it's soft. It's a letting go. At the bottom of this exhale, just come back to the regular breathing pattern. So the breath is interesting. It's something that we can control, but it also is something that happens automatically when we are not even paying attention to it. It is a way to self-heal and soothe ourselves when we are in that overthinking place, when we are in this need for control and safety within the thinking mind. We can use the breath for ourselves to calm us down and calm the body, feeling the body, calm the mind, really knowing where the mind is going when it starts to circle and ruminate on thoughts. Start to see this through these kinds of practices. We could notice where our thoughts are looping, where we're ruminating, and we can start to recognize with tenderness and care for ourselves these areas, these pockets of control that are happening in our thoughts and causing tension and stress and tightness and overwhelm, not only within our bodies, but also within our lives, our daily activities. So I encourage you to look and question for yourselves these places of control through our thoughts in our lives, and where we can start to let go. Maybe we can use the breath, take a few breaths, and on the exhale start to just release control of a certain thought. Just release it on the exhale when you notice it's come up, and see if that doesn't help bring more calm and peace and lightness and happiness. I thank you so much for the privilege of being together for these kinds of practices that are so meaningful and healthy for our lives. Have a wonderful day.